how to set up a company for cash management. At this point, we're looking at the Cash Manager tab and then the Company Setup sub-tab. This is the very first step that has to be completed in order to start using cash management. So if you have no company already established in the system, you would need to create a company. And this is essentially what would be tied to the file, the ACH file, or the wire file, as to identify where this is coming from. So we'll just click the little plus sign there for Add New Company. We can go ahead and include the company name. The identification and EIN, both of these fields do have to be populated in the system in order to be able to move forward. But if you do not have a separate identifier from the EIN, you can actually check mark Use EIN as identification so that you only have to type that number one time. So I would just enter my business tax ID number there, check mark Use EIN as identification. The next step, we do have an address link. It is a hyperlink kind of out here to the right. It just says address and is underlined. We do have to click that link and complete the screen, the pop-up screen, in order to be able to move forward with saving the company to actually create it. So I'll just go ahead and plug in the address for my company at this point. Go ahead and click OK. And at this point, we're ready to go ahead and save this company out there. If we wanted to, we could edit, and that would allow you to change any of this information that you've already keyed. You could delete, which would completely remove this from the profile. You can also have a little bit of an expansion arrow here on the left-hand side. And at this point, if we wanted to grant access to a sub-user so that a sub-user could create files using this company, we would need to go ahead and add that sub-user in our list there. So in the previous recording, we did build out an example one sub-user. So at this point, we would just go ahead and click Add or Grant Access to, and this would allow them to have access for this company. You do have the ability to go ahead and allow that individual to have the modification rights to the company, where they could go in and change the name of the listing, change the tax ID number, the identification number, or the address. So the basic pieces that we have pre-filled in this screenshots here for the company setup. You can also allow this sub-user to modify participants. Participant setup is actually the next step in the list. So you can build participants for the company, for a specific company, if maybe you have more than one company that you're building out and utilizing payments on behalf of two different companies within one internet banking profile. That's where this piece would come into play. If you're adding participants to one company or the other, or maybe it is a participant that does maintenance work for both companies, and you should be able to utilize that individual to pay them from either company at any point. Then you can make them a global participant. But in this instance, where we have modified participants, it would allow this sub-user to modify participants or payees in the ACH file specific to this individual company that we have set up. Just going to go ahead and grant access for both of those. Click Save to retain those changes. And at this point, my company setup is complete, and I have granted access to that company for my sub-users to be able to utilize that company to generate a profile, a payroll, or ACH file.